So raise your hand if your camp has insurance. All right, keep them up. I just kind of want to give results back. I'd say this is about less than 10%. Does that seem about right? Less than 10% of camps have insurance. Okay, next question. Does your camp have any kind of liability waiver or indemnification if something bad were to happen in your camp to one of your campers? Raise your hand. All right, like 5%, about 5%. It's interesting. This is stuff that's been coming up. All right, now we're going to do some entity questions. Is your camp an LLC? Okay, I'd say 5%. Is your camp a 501c3? Okay, maybe like 8%, a little more. A 501c7? 1, 2 people? 2 people. S-corps, any S-corps in the house? 2 people, interesting. Who has no entity? It's friends doing friend stuff. Most people. All right, friends doing friend stuff. And any entities I didn't cover? Does anyone have something that I didn't cover? You can shout it out. Total financial nightmare. That's a good kind. Wow. How do I sign up? You had your hand up too. Oh, you're also going to join with his financial nightmare. Any other entities we missed? No? Spend angel investor $21,000 of his own money to bring the camp to Burning Man. Oh, now we have friends. Financial nightmare friends. That's so nice. Oh, I love it. All right, let's talk about average camp dues. So I know some people have ranges, they have all kinds of things, but this is just the average. So think about that number for a second first. Got it? Okay. So raise your hand if your camp has no dues at all. All right, I see like less than 5%. Wow. All right. Raise your hand if your camp dues are under $100. I see about 5 people, 6 people. Okay, what about between $100 and $300? All right, so keep your hands up. What do we call this, like 50, a little over 50%? It's a lot. Maybe more, 60? Okay, so most of us have dues between $100 and $300. What about $300 to $500? Okay, so like a quarter? About a quarter of us, okay. $500 to $700? Okay. 4, 5, 6. What about over $700? For you personally, over $700. No, your camp dues, what your average campers are paying. Okay, I saw about maybe 10, like less than 10 hands. Okay, that was interesting. Did you find that interesting? I found that interesting. Cool. So just to plug, there's another breakout plug. There's going to be one on financials and insurance and asset management and all that stuff in the afternoon. So if you're interested to continue that conversation, that's where you should be in the afternoon. Okay, so now I'm going to bring up someone who's going to tell us all about his favorite principle, and then we're going to hear from some of you about perhaps your favorite principle. Here's Stuart again.
Because I'm not just about safety, I'm about philosophy too. Any fans of philosophy here today? Who likes those 10 principles? Come on, come on. I know we all like some of them more than others. You got a favorite principle? Who's got a favorite principle? What is it? Radical self-reliance, communal effort. That's not a principle, we already went over that. Radical self-entitlement. Not a principle. Radical self-infundment, maybe. That might be the 11th. Personally, my favorite is decommodification. I think decommodification and gifting are at the heart of what makes Burning Man different from every other Man-Jack festival in the world. I think it's also a continual challenge to try to get people to understand it. If you've ever tried to explain decommodification to somebody who's never been to Burning Man, you may find, well, first of all, that word doesn't even exist. Larry made that word up. In my work with building up our education programs, we went through an exercise a couple of years ago where we looked at translations of the 10 principles across the regional network, which was very, very interesting. As part of that process, I noticed that several events had come up with visual symbols for the principles, which at first glance is a great idea, right? To have like a visual iconography. Except when I got to decommodification, the icon was a bag of money in a red circle with a line through it, which I think you'll agree with me doesn't really capture the spirit of what decommodification is all about. Decommodification is, you may have a personal relationship with it, and I'm happy to say that our friend Halcyon, John Stinn, you may be familiar with some of his writings, very prolific, an awesome blogger for Burning Man. He put together a quick little film reel where he asked other burners about what they thought decommodification was all about. So rather than me yammer about it, I am going to let you see what this is all about.
The Burning Man experience as a whole is not decommodified. We have to buy gasoline and groceries and shade structure supplies, but within Black Rock City, it is decommodified, and within the regional events. Because establishing a place where we are free from that is important.
Hi, this is Little Jack from Hushville. To me, decommodification is more than keeping commercialism and capitalism off the playa. It extends to ourselves and each other. A commodity is something that can be bought and sold, so it has an assigned value. So in the default world, what you do for a living, where you live, what kind of car you drive, how much money you make is irrelevant out here. And this goes back to the principle of radical inclusion. We're all burners.
Hi, I'm Tinker from the MacGyvers Union, and to me, decommodification means repairing, recycling, or repurposing material. You don't have to buy everything you need. Sometimes repurposing means defusing a bomb with a paperclip in the finest MacGyver tradition. But other times it means making an outfit with repaired cast-off EL wire, a clothing exchange vest, and some shelf liner. Don't be afraid to tackle a quandary with the materials you have on hand.
I'm Lee from Camp Epic. Decommodification is the practice of stripping relative values. And what I mean by that is that things shouldn't necessarily be compared to each other. For economic purposes, yeah, but for appreciation purposes, you just have to look at something and appreciate it for what it is. Everything is intertwined, everything is connected to each other, everything is part of each other, and therefore it holds an intrinsic value.
Hi, I'm Witness from Intergalactic Sasquatch Village, and decommodification means everyone coming together as a whole so anyone's desires can be fulfilled. Decommodification is a direct result of participation.
Hi guys, it's Applesauce from A Shack of Sit. I was thinking about what Burning Man would be like without decommodification. So, I do not want to go to Kohl's Costume Cult and buy a purple fuzzy jacket. I don't want a craft sandwich made at Burning Man. I don't want to go find somebody on GlaxoSmithKline in 3 o'clock or Hanes in 4 o'clock. I just want to be there with you and have fun.
I'm Weaver from Camp Yes Please, and decommodification to me means a break. It means freedom from the bombardment of constant marketing, constantly being told you're not good enough in that marketing, and just allows me to spend a week where I can actually get deeper into immediacy and radical self-expression, radical self-reliance, and chill out and enjoy myself without all of that outside influence.
In a decommodified space, we can take off the armor that we wear 24/7 to fight against the world that is constantly trying to market to us. Things are not for sale. People are not eyeballs. Attention is not to be monetized. We are individuals. We are ourselves gifts to be given to one another, as opposed to potential clients, customers, and consumers. This break from that transactional mentality is so revolutionary that sometimes we don't even recognize the significance.